On the lacrosse field, what is it that defines an X factor? What's up everyone, I'm Kevin Boylard, and today I want to highlight 4 of the biggest individual X factors in college lacrosse. If you watch my videos, you know I feature a lot of big name guys. Most of them are attackmen. This video, however, is for the key playmakers who don't get a lot of time in the limelight. That means no attackmen. Alright, let's see how this goes. The first player who comes to my mind when I think X Factor is Georgetown goalie Owen McElroy. Goalie is a position that kind of lends itself to the individual X Factor label since there's only one guy in net and no one plays the position better than McElroy. He currently has the second best save percentage in the country, and that's a big reason why Georgetown's defense only allows 8.2 goals per game. His performance against Notre Dame earlier this season was something extraordinary. McElroy faced 52 shots in that game, finishing with a season-high 24 saves in a 16-11 win for the Hoyas. From his first save of the game, you could tell McElroy was dialed in. Pat and Chris Kavanaugh have a crease-cutting connection that is basically a sixth sense at this point, but somehow McElroy reacts quick enough to cover the backside and deny the Notre Dame brothers the back of his net. McElroy made multiple saves in this game from point-blank range. I love how he just stands tall and swallows up space. This is suffocating for an offense when you're facing a goalie who's this calm in close. There were also a couple sequences in this game where McElroy stood up to a flurry of shots. This one was crazy. Let's just turn on the save counter and remember this was all one possession for Notre Dame. Five saves, 1 possession. In the fourth quarter against a top 5 team, too. If you're the Hoyas, what more could you possibly want in an X Factor? McElroy basically won them the game. If you watched the last 2 national championships, you've probably heard of this next X Factor. It's Petey LaSalla, face-off specialist from Virginia. LaSalla was only a freshman when he scored 2 goals in the 2019 national championship against Yale. He gave an encore performance as a junior, notching a goal and an assist in the 2021 Natty versus Maryland. LaSalla is such a consistent point producer for the Cavaliers that he pushes the boundaries of his own position. I mean, name another face-off specialist with a green light to take his man behind the net and dodge from X. LaSalla is a legitimate offensive weapon with over 30 career points. He has 5 goals through 6 games so far this season, and the thing I love about him is he's always willing to sacrifice his body to make a scoring play. Look at the way he fights off this contact, only to be absolutely leveled as he releases an off-balance shot. Hey, no guts, no glory, right? On average, LaSalla wins roughly 2/3 of his faceoffs, but in a rout of Johns Hopkins this year, he was nearly perfect. LaSalla went 9 for 10 from the faceoff X with 4 ground balls and a goal, all before halftime. Here's one he would have won cleanly if the official wasn't in the way. Petey says, "No worries, I'll just beat everyone to the ground ball, then flip it behind my back to my teammates." LaSalla may be the ultimate X factor because having a face-off specialist who's that good at offense feels like a cheat code. Another useful X factor to have is a really good short stick defensive midi, like Maryland's Roman Puglisi. In his bio on Maryland's official website, Puglisi says his sports hero is Tim Tebow, and call me crazy, but you can kind of see the influence. Puglisi is a tough, high-effort player, and no one wants him to be the quarterback on offense. Puglisi knows his role, though, and plays it well. Through just 5 games so far this season, he has 7 caused turnovers and 14 ground balls. The place where Puglisi really makes a difference is in the middle of the field. Watch this sequence. After blowing up Syracuse's scoring opportunity, Puglisi immediately sprints downfield to set up the clear. Once the ball gets to him, he safely moves it across the midfield line and allows Maryland to start subbing its offense onto the field. He moves the ball and starts to sub off himself, but doubles back when he catches the Syracuse midi lacking. Now, Maryland is playing offense. The shot is ultimately off target, but that's the full field impact Puglisi has in transition, turning defense into offense. He gets a lot of these opportunities as a winger on faceoffs. Here's one where he gets the ground ball, pushes the fast break, moves it to the wing, and winds up with an uncredited hockey assist on the goal. Sometimes Puglisi will score a goal himself, just by hustling and trailing a play downfield instead of immediately subbing off when his job is done. and the energy when he scores is unmatched. Puglisi is a great defensive player, but his elite understanding of transition is the real X factor for Maryland. The last X factor I want to feature in this video is Cornell defenseman Gavin Adler. At a glance, Adler doesn't look like your typical D1 lockdown defender. He's only 5'8", 180 pounds. But turn on his tape against Ohio State's Jack Myers. On paper, that's a mismatch. Myers has 6 inches and nearly 25 pounds on Adler. But as this matchup wore on, it became clear that it was Adler who actually had the upper hand. Entering this game, Myers was averaging 7.5 points per game. Adler held him to just 1 goal and no assists. Ohio State kept trying to set picks, hoping Cornell's defense would switch and give Myers a better matchup, but Adler was relentless, running through each one and still managing to disrupt Myers. At this point, Myers is sick of being clamped down at X, so he decides to test Adler from up top. Adler is slowed by the pick, but with the help of a slide, he's able to stick with Myers and force a pass. Now, behind the net, Myers decides to give it yet another go. And as you might have guessed, Adler is all over him once again. Now, Myers does get a shot off that nearly squeaks through, but that's a 15-yard shot with his momentum moving away from the net. Cornell will take that all day. You could say Myers was defeated when Ohio State buried him with Adler on the crease for pretty much the entire third quarter. But for me, the defining moment came in the fourth quarter, when Myers tried and failed one last time to take on Adler at X. Look at him, just demoralized. Gavin, I know you were overlooked for preseason All-American, but don't worry, I see you out there. All right, folks, those are my biggest X factors in college lacrosse. Let me know in the comments section who else deserved to be in this video. If you like this topic, make sure you hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. Last thing, stay tuned for my weekly power rankings over at lax.com. Until then, get off your screen, get on the wall.